What's up, guys? Chris Linehan here. There is a big topic that I want to talk to y'all about tonight, and it is especially important to you guys who still operate with a lot of anxiety and dependency on the outcome of your actions. I've been on both sides of the bridge, the coin, fence, whatever you want to call it. Just a few months ago, had daily relentless anxiety, depression, and here within the past month, I've really seen a consistent flow of days where my anxiety has just been really low. Um, so, I've got experience on both spectrums, so this is why I want to do a video on this. I feel like I have some insight on it. Although you're gonna see what I'm talking about isn't something magical, new, or super insightful, but I feel like it is an important topic, and I feel like some of you guys might be able to benefit from it. Earlier today, on my way walking to class, I was walking forward and there was a girl walking my direction. And this girl, I've seen her before, she has seen me before, we've seen each other multiple times in the gym, made eye contact, whatever. I know she's interested in me, she knows I'm interested in her. I have not talked to her in the gym though. So this morning, as I was walking to class, I continued to look up and stare basically right into her eyes as she is walking my direction. As we got closer, I could tell she was getting really nervous. And typically what I would have done in the past was I would continue to just do this. Just stare at her. Give her no way to judge whether or not I'm interested in her at the time or just in general. Just boom, just staring, just fucking staring her down. Because I would be too nervous to smile at her. I couldn't give her a smile. Not just this girl, just any girl. We're speaking about just girls in general at this point. But this morning, I did not even think about it. There was no thought of, hey Chris, what if you smile at her and she doesn't smile back at you? I didn't care what her reaction would be because, get this, regardless of what her reaction was, I knew that I would be able to make a calibrated decision about what my next move would be. Most of us will, when we're anxious and we're not doing too well with girls or whatever, most of us think that if you smile at a girl and she doesn't smile back at you, you fucked up. It's over. She doesn't like you. But I know very well now that's not the case. And I'm not explicitly just talking about this situation, but it is a good example. Because with anything, there is a action, there is a reaction based off of your action, and after there's this reaction by the girl, you have a time frame in which you can calibrate and think and determine what your next action will be based off of her reaction, and then you take your next action. And I think what happens, I think the thought process that occurs with somebody who's anxious and shy and inexperienced is they get fucking hung up on this. They get hung up on the potential reactions that happen from your action. And they lose the ability to do step 3 and make a good calibrated decision about what your next move is. So, for example, let's go back to the example we were talking about. I smile. She didn't smile back at me. The old me would have been completely just destroyed at that point in time because she didn't smile back at me. But what happened is she looked she looked down and she kind of giggled and just looked down and wouldn't look at me when I went past her. And now I know, because I'm confident and I don't have anxiety, I know that was a good reaction for me. I know that pretty much just confirmed that she is aware of my existence and she likes me. But if I would have been anxious, I would have been too stuck on step two and just said, "Oh fuck, she didn't smile back at me," fuck, dead in the water. So I guess I should tell you what really happened. That's what happened. I smiled. She looked down, giggled, wouldn't look at me, and I had to actually keep walking. I'm not making an excuse up about this. I had to keep walking because I was late to meet my boss, and I was late the day before. So it's not a good idea to be late. But I would like for you guys and me and whoever who has experience on this to tell me if you understand what I'm saying, and if you feel the same way, that when you're confident and you have experience and you're not always dependent on the outcome, that out of the 4 steps: action, reaction, calibrate, next action, what you'll really focus on is the third one. You don't care what your action is, you don't care what her reaction is, you just care about being mentally sound and in the moment enough to be able to make a good decision about what your next action should be. So, if you are anxious and you're having trouble talking to girls, I think that if you could make a conscious effort to just say, "I'm not going to care what my action is, I'm not going to care what her reaction is, I'm going to do something, and I'm just going to put her to the test. And whatever her reaction is, I'm going to have an action next." And I'll give one more example, and it's not going to be about a guy and a girl dynamic, because this applies to everything. This applies to anything and everything. This past weekend, me, my little sister, and a couple of friends of mine were out partying. It was her birthday. She's 19. And not all the bars downtown would allow you to get in if you're under 21. And normally in the past, I would not be one to broach the idea of trying to break the rules, more or less. But this past weekend, I didn't even think about it. I just said, "Fuck it, Gabrielle, come with me, and we are going to go and see if this bouncer will let us in the door. Let's see if he gives you the 21 and up bracelet or any type of bracelet to get in this only 21 and up bar." And I went up to the bouncer, basically was just straight up with him, told him I wanted to get in. It's my sister's birthday. She's hanging out with me tonight. Can we get in the bar? The answer was fuck no. It was no. The answer was no. But in the past, I would have been just totally just fretting about, like, what if the bouncer tells me no? What if he does X? It doesn't fucking matter. Just take an action, judge the reaction, and make a calibrated decision about what your next action is. You know what my action was? It was to just walk away. I wasn't sad about us not getting in, and I didn't feel like I was a retard for doing it. I took an action, I judged the reaction, and then I took another fucking action. So stop focusing on what the reaction is going to be. Judge what the actual reaction is. Calibrate. Make your next move.